What's up, guys? I'm back. A couple housekeeping notes up front. Sorry I missed a week. Weather and Valentine's Day and life comes at you fast, so missed a week. I'm trying to put out on a regular schedule of one video every 2 weeks on Wednesday mornings. But as always, make sure you follow me on Instagram at MadMaxGuns. I'll put that down here. If you want to see these videos early or some behind the scenes posts, stuff like that, and then just information that won't get out to the normal social medias as fast, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/MadMaxGuns. It's cheap, easy way to support the channel and keep the engine rolling. And as always, make sure you subscribe to this video, like it, even if you don't like it, and ask questions away in the comments. Try to beat that algorithm. But today, we're here to talk about something that you haven't seen before unless you follow me on Instagram. And you probably noticed from the thumbnail and the title of the video, a AR-10 chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. If you've watched this channel for a while, you've probably recognized the rail and the receiver set. It's actually from my first AR build ever, which was an LR-308 DPMS build, obviously. The upper and lower receiver and rail were used on the just as good AR build that I did, like the AR versus Scar. For whatever reason, I ended up just rebuilding that entire gun except for the barrel, and that is now the Big Thumper. Check that out. I'll put a little card up there for you, or somewhere else, or just go back in the catalog and check that out. But that AR-10 rips for a 308. Just go check out the video. It's pretty crazy how it performs. But since I've gotten really into precision shooting, started last year, and then this fall and winter, I really started diving deep into it. I wanted a 6.5 Creedmoor gas gun, and since I had the receiver set, all I really needed to buy was the barrel, or so I thought. A couple other things came up, but we'll get into that. But for now, we'll start from the rear, because the front is where we really get into the proverbial meat and potatoes of this. But A2 stock, got it from @CloneDepot on Instagram. He's like a reseller, and then we'll repost stuff for everybody that's just trying to like garage sale their stuff. Typical, I don't know what brand A2 stock it is, but it's just regular ass A2 stock with a rifle length buffer tube. I got it might be an AR Stoner, I don't know. It was a generic LR-308 weight rifle buffer. And then the spring is a JP Enterprises spring. That whole part works with everything up front to have a really smooth shooting system here. But I'll get more into that later. Receiver set, like I said, is a DPMS Panther. The upper was one of those super heavy barrel 24-inch. I don't know. It was heavy. And then it has the slick side here with no dust cover and no brass deflector. If you are a lefty, this will burn your face. My friend has a scar to prove it. These are weird because the rail up here is really high. It almost looks like a HK 417 height, but it's not. It's DPMS. Back here, the grip is a Fab Defense, I think, Israeli, whatever company. I don't know where it came from, but I had it in parts bin, and it happened to fit my hand really well. It's just comfortable, especially for a precision gun that you're going to be laying behind most of the time. Parts kit was just a DPMS parts kit, except the trigger here, we have a LaRue, I believe the MBT, the cheap 2-stage trigger that they were on sale for a while for like $79, and I can't remember your name on here, but you were commenting every video telling me to try it, and then I'm assuming it was you that sent it to me, but one of my followers, subscribers, whatever, sent it to me, and I decided to give it a try. And here are my thoughts on it. So, you know, decent take up, very distinct wall, super crisp break. This is where the issue comes in. The reset is very unpredictable. There's nothing, it just happens. It's super crisp, but I will say that I prefer the Geisley because the reset is more predictable than this. But in the grand scheme of things, the break of the trigger I would say is more important than the reset. Either way, good trigger, definitely good value for what they cost. But if I had to pick between a Geisley 2-stage or SSA and then this, I would take the Geisley. Then again, you can get 2 to 3 of these for what a Geisley costs. Those are my thoughts on that. Moving forward. So the bolt carrier is a DPMS. I had to replace the bolt with a Rubber City Armament high pressure bolt. I was trying to get the JP Enterprises, but they're on back order, sold out everywhere and impossible to get. But when I was shooting 6.5 Creedmoor with small rifle primers, I was getting a lot of Pierce primers. With the large rifle primers, I wasn't having any problems. But ever since I put in the high pressure bolt, I haven't had any problems with that. I'm not sure what makes the bolt itself high pressure. I'm assuming just the way it's like treated or whatever. But the firing pin is a couple thousandths skinnier, so the pressure of a small rifle primer isn't like causing a bigger primer or a bigger firing pin to burst the primer. Unless you're reloading, most 6.5 Creedmoor is large rifle primer, so you won't have a problem with that. But if you're reloading and like trying to get the most precision out of your gun, and they say 6.5 in general, you should be running a high pressure bolt. But the RCA is definitely a good alternative to the JP Enterprises because they're sold out everywhere, but the RCA is not. Anyway, if you don't reload, that probably won't pertain to you. Moving forward. Up top here, I have a Primary Arms Platinum Series 6-30 by 56 with a mil-dot reticle. Gonna do a video on this separately. I actually bought this from on the guy on Instagram at @maninAtree _ in between all that. One of the most artistically gifted military guys. He's a National Guard sniper now, but he was a Marine Scout sniper once upon a time. If you don't follow him, you definitely should, especially if you're into artsy shit with guns, because that dude is something else. But yeah, I'm going to do a whole video on this once I get more rounds through it. And it's in a Aero ultralight 34mm mount. Like I said before, this is a DPMS quad rail. It's super chonky and it has the higher rail up top that matches up to this receiver. And I'm pretty sure they don't make these anymore. It is a it screws onto the barrel nut. I think that's a terrible system, but I had what I had. The barrel itself is a Criterion hybrid 20-incher. I wanted the 22 heavy barrel, but I couldn't find a .875 gas block anywhere. And when you got this barrel, you had the option to get the Badger Ordnance gas block with it. So I went with that. Not disappointed in it at all. Most people say you should run a adjustable gas block on 6.5 Creedmoor. You probably should, but this is rifle length, and with the buffer I have in here now, everything's running fine for now. I have a couple hundred rounds through this system as a whole. Most of it was done with low development, and then when I took it out to the long range, I put 50 rounds through it, and the function problems I had wasn't with gassing, it was with my seating depth on the hand loads. I shouldn't have won anything past magazine length of 2.800. Again, I'm not going to get into hand loading here. If you got any questions, ask me on Instagram, Patreon, in the comments, whatever, I'll get back to you. But the malfunctions that it had weren't gun related, it was ammo related. But yeah, it's a 1 1/8 twist barrel, medium contour I would say, and it shoots laser beams. With the ball ammo that Seller and Balat, S&B, however you say that, the 140 Full Metal Jacket boat tails was shooting about 5-inch groups, about 1 inch off of a canting bipod and a bag. So it wasn't the most stable platform, but I was shooting inch or better with that in 5-shot groups. It doesn't like heavier bullets. It doesn't like the 147 grain Hornadies. It doesn't like the 150 grain Sierra Match Strings. It likes 140 grain bullets. I haven't shot lighter stuff, but I have shot a lot of 140 grain bullets. And with hand loads, H-4350 and Hornady 140 grain boat tail hollow points, shooting between 1/2 and 3/4 inches pretty consistently, 5-shot groups. I keep saying I'm not going to talk about hand loader stuff, but I somehow end up back there anyway. Up front here, we got a VG6 Gamma 7.62. I was having a hard time finding anything that wasn't like a really thick precision gun muzzle brake for 6.5. I wanted the 6.5 Gamma, just couldn't find it. The 7.62 works just fine with it. You can go bigger, you just can't go smaller. What's cool about the Gamma is if you want to pin it, it came pre-drilled. I think a lot of muzzle brakes are doing that these days. But overall, like the brake, obviously haven't shot it without ears on, but it's not that the blast isn't that bad. But with this combined with a rifle length gas system and a rifle buffer system, this is an incredibly controllable system as a whole. Up front here, the bipod run is just like a Harris 9-13. I believe I got it from Thoroughbred Armament during their Christmas sale, and it's sitting in a American Defense Manufacturing, also known as ADM, quick detach for Picatinny. Super convenient, you can take it off, throw it on something else. Most of the time it sits on this rifle because. Yeah, so that's the breakdown of the gun as a whole. Paint job was originally Ranger green, and then we started getting a bunch of snow this year, unlike last year, so I decided to go with like a little wintry mix on it. We got some whites and grays in there with some scaling. Let me know what you think about that. I don't know if it's going to stay like this. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get all this off, but I like it, and it's different than everything else. Everything else I did was just like tans and browns. But that being said, performance of the gun with factory ammunition, no hiccups at all. Like I said, very surprised with the accuracy that it's getting just from Full Metal Jacket 140 grain bullets. It loves 140 grain boat tail hollow points, like I said. And with the Criterion barrel, I believe they guarantee a 1 minute or better with match grade. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so like I said, I thought the only thing I was going to have to buy was the barrel. Ended up having to buy the bolt for it. And I went from a carbine buffer to a rifle length buffer. Other than that, everything else I pretty much had. The barrel is right around 3 and some change, but there's a couple like influencers out there. Eric Sidow, eSidow13 on Instagram. He has a 20% off discount code if you want that. And there's a couple other guys out there. 20% is like $60 on a $300 barrel, so with some quick maths. But yeah, if you're looking to build a gun in 6.5, I could not recommend Criterion enough. That is the heart and soul of this gun. I would recommend that you get a high pressure bolt as well, but you don't need to. And I haven't had any hiccups with the Badger Ordnance gas block that would send me to go buy an adjustable gas block. I'm sure if you're shooting suppressed, the adjustable gas block is something that you definitely want to look into, but as of now, this is the configuration. This is pretty much just an introduction video to this gun. Once the spring gets along and I get out on the long range some more, I will definitely bring you some more videos on this, but I was having no problem slamming 700 pretty consistently from the prone and from a tripod. And that's what I'm going to be focused on this year. There's a lot of different positions. I've got a barrier I'm going to bring out, and I'm going to keep working it. Magazines I'm running in this specific gun is I just got some steel SR25 pattern mags. Would I suggest this receiver set? There's better ones out there. I pretty much would suggest Arrow for anything big or small platform, but yeah, that's my fake ass wannabe SR25 M110 and 6.5. But if you got any questions on it about more specifics, it is a 700-yard gun for sure that's shooting sub-ohm weight out to those distances. I'm going to try to get it out to 1,000 this summer. But thanks for watching, guys. Again, drop any questions you have down in the comments. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my Patreon. The website's coming. Keep an eye out for that, merch, whatever. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, as always, eat a dick. And I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Peace out.